in the ARCA Menards series. And do we know how to kick off a Memorial Day weekend a little early, better than anybody else or not? I'd say so, as the ARCA Menards series welcomes you to Charlotte Motor Speedway and the General Tire 150. 24 cars on pit lane, ready for a little 100 laps of action. That's the man, Phil Parsons, who was here at the first ARCA race in '64. And I'm Dave Reef. And Phil, what an adventure it's been. 4 days ago, these guys were racing in Toledo, and they're in the middle of a 7-race stretch in the next 35. Add to that, this is one tricky racetrack tonight after a day of heat.
It really is, and these guys practiced during the day when it was really hot out there. Practice started very early on, about 11:30 this morning. Right after it started, this is Richard Petty's grandson, Thad Moffitt. He gets loose off of turn number 4. That's a difficult end of the racetrack. He does a great job keeping that car out of the outside wall, puts a fresh set of tires on it. He does qualify for tonight's race. And then during qualifying, the other end of the racetrack, which is considered probably the easier end, this is off of turn number 2, Willie Mullins gets into the wall as he loses control of that car. His crew has been working nonstop since that moment trying to get that car on the grid so he can race tonight. But both ends of the racetrack challenging, and now we're going to race at night when it's going to cool off.
Quick note on the King's grandson playing her as well, broken right hand. But here's the forecast for tonight. Beautiful night for the fans, but still a question mark. What's going to happen on that track?
Yeah, it's still warm, but the track temperature's coming down. That's why this racetrack will change.
A new point leader at each and every stop following the first 6 races. Michael Self is a guy we're going to keep our eye on tonight, but you've got some other folks you'd like to key in on.
Yeah, one of the guys I want to keep my eye on is Riley Herbst. He's driving the 18 car for Joe Gibbs. Riley was the fastest car in practice. He's going to start all the way back in the 9th spot. Had a bit of a bad break, had to qualify on hot tires. I'm also going to keep an eye on our champion. Our champion is back, Sheldon Creed. His first start in the ARCA Menards series this year. He will start from the 7th position in the 21 car. And how about Harrison Burton? He started the year off with a win at Daytona in the ARCA Racing Series. He's going to race here tonight. He qualified 30, and he's going to graduate high school tomorrow.
It's like 12 hours from now.
Exactly. And how about Tanner Gray? We know this guy can go fast, but he always did it in a straight line. He was our NHRA champion pro stock racer last year. Makes the conversion to oval track racing, doing a terrific job. He's already won in the K&N series, and he starts from the front row.
And he admits it is definitely a different discipline, but it is time to go trackside and fire things up for tonight's General Tire 150.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Manager of Marketing and Events for Continental Tire, Chuck Flanagan.
Drivers, start your engines!
That is definitely one of the most enthusiastic commands we've seen in quite some time. As the drivers, hey, it's time to put your phones down. Fans at home, put them down as well. Leave that favorite app of yours on the side table. In fact, that's tonight's General Tire driver profile question.
I got this game, and I'm like addicted to it. It's called 2048, and it's like a really old game, and you like swipe all the numbers and add them together, and I don't know, I like it. But it's a little distracting in class, but we won't tell anyone about it.
My fantasy football app, it's been a tremendous amount of time on that. I've only played for 2 years, and I've played in a total of 4 leagues. I've gone to the playoff in every one. I've won 2 overall.
Snapchat. Without a doubt, Snapchat. I'm always on Snapchat. I like to watch what other people are doing on their stories. They always put up those Kim and Khloe Kardashian things, and for some reason, I like to watch them just to see what the Kardashians are doing. 21st century, everybody's trying to keep up with the Kardashians.
Oh, there's an app, it's called Enlight, and like you can adjust pictures so I don't look so fat and ugly. That's pretty fun. Yeah, I can make myself like actually not look so bad on there, and I like that one a lot.
Charlotte Motor Speedway, the perfect stage for a weekend of racing.
Who can do no wrong tonight here in Charlotte? Well, the next bad man is only 100 laps away. It's the General Tire 150 is moments away from going green. Who will we like? Hang out with us and find out. Phil Parsons, let's take a look at the points. Michael Self is the point leader, but it is very, very crowded at the top.
Yeah, Travis Brayton, Brett Holmes only 40 points behind collectively. Travis Brayton was a point leader going into Toledo. An accident put him behind Michael Self.
I think what's interesting, after 6 races, there have been 6 different points leaders at the end of those 6 races. What will happen tonight? Another question will be following. Before we go green, though, let's check in one more time down on pit road.
Well, Dave, most of the drivers took advantage of a one-day test here 3 weeks ago, but the problem with the test was that it was run all day long and not into the darkness. This is the most temperature-sensitive track on the ARCA schedule, so 7 of the teams came together. They rented the track privately for an extra 2 hours that went in tonight to get some information in these type of conditions. Our point leader and our pole sitter, Michael Self, he was one of them. And while ARCA did not officially time that session, I've been told that Christian Eckes and the number 15 JBL Audio Toyota was the fastest, so maybe add him to your list of drivers to watch.
Christian Eckes, who's had an up and down season with a point leader, getting ill, getting involved in a crash, but he is fighting his way back up into these points as Christian Eckes rolls off tonight 5th. Time now for the General Tire 150 starting grid. Michael Self is the General Tire Pole Award winner after this great lap earlier today.
Yeah, what a great lap. It really surprised me. That was actually the fastest lap we saw all day long, and he did it in the heat of the day during qualifying.
His 3rd career pole. He goes back-to-back for the first time ever. Not too bad for one, a man who says he's not a very good qualifier. And number 2, thought he missed it on that lap. Apologized to his team after he ended that qualifying run, but there he sits on the pole position in that Sinclair Toyota Camry. The rest of the field, let's start talking about them. How about the guy sitting to his outside, the Pro Stock champion, Tanner Gray? We already talked about him. What a great start for him.
Yeah, what a quick study, too. He's already won a race in the K&N Series at South Boston, and here he is on the front row at Charlotte.
Inside row number 4, there's the 2018 champ, Sheldon Creed. His time Majeski starts outside of him. The guy we really like, though, we talked a little bit about him, is Riley Herbst in that 18 car.
Yeah, really surprised. He got a bad break in qualifying. Somebody spun out on the racetrack. He had to come back in. Qualifying hot tires with a hot engine all the way back to 9th, but he was odds-on favorite in the garage area. Who's the guy to beat tonight?
Travis Brayton's been struggling in that 27, starts outside of row number 4, but the good news for he and that team, they have 100 laps to get it figured out, keep trying to gobble up those ARCA Menards points. So the moment is here. The cars are setting up. They are in line. The lights are off on the pace car on the backside of Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we are set for 150 miles of racing. That is 100 laps around the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Did I mention it earlier? Memorial Day weekend. We're kicking it off in style here on Thursday evening. As we get a quick look at our Charlotte Motor Speedway track description.
You can see it sounds like they're the same. You see 24 degrees of banking down at each end, but these ends could not be any more different. Pretty easy 1 and 2, really challenging 3 and 4.
There's the race analysis. 100 laps, 150 miles. That is a pit window if you stay green that long, but of course, first yellow could change all of that, throw it all out the window.
How about last year's winner, Brandon Jones?
Hey, isn't he around?
We'll hear from him in a few minutes.
Absolutely. But right now, we race in remembrance of American service members who died in armed conflicts. For all who gave their yesterdays, we say thank you for today as the General Tire 150 is green in Charlotte. Michael Self wastes no time.
Yeah, a couple cars really spun their tires. Cody Robaugh in the 7 car lost several spots.
Tanner Gray, how long will he be able to run that second line? He's got a little bit of a gap now. We'll probably nestle it on down the bottom.
This racetrack, you can run all over this racetrack. You can run all the way to the top. From the bottom to the top, there's some traction compound in the 2nd and 3rd lanes up there.
Coming by to complete lap number 1, it will be Michael Self, who holds a 0.6-second lead already. The guy who's been talking about points racing all season long. He's had his ups, he's had his downs. How will he manage his race?
Saw that red car, Brett Holmes, wiggle big time over there in the middle of 1 and 2, and then a little bit loose up off the corner as he follows the 22 of Ty Majeski.
Majeski trying to get around the 7 machine. That's Cody Rohrbaugh. What a season it's been. It's been high, it's been low. He's managed it very, very well. Cars side by side coming through that tri-oval.
Yeah, keep an eye on that 22 of Ty Majeski. Very impressed with him in practice. Had a very solid long run car.
A couple of the Bill Venturini Motorsports machines running side by side. Christian Eckes Getting all close and personal with Harrison Burton.
That's a battle for the 3rd spot. Right along with Harrison Burton, this is General Tire on board. Remember, Harrison was here last Friday night and ran the truck race. Finished just outside the top 10 and 11th.
Phil, when you run the trucks here, how important, how much of that information translates to these ARCA cars?
These cars are quite a bit different because of that huge, big windshield that they have on those trucks, but any lap at this racetrack helps. Similar conditions, very different tires, but I think any experience helps here.
Right now, Burton will settle into the number 20 spot. How about the 21 and Creed right behind him? He's moved up to the number 4 spot. Harrison, you see the gap between he, Tanner Gray running in second, Michael Self out in front. And just that quick, we are 5 laps into this event.
You can see the difference in the color of the racetrack. That bottom lane, no traction compound. Again, from there on up, there's some traction compound on this racetrack.
Harrison Burton started this race in the number 3 position. That is inside of row number 2. He's carrying that onboard camera. Eckes up against the wall, into it.
Is that left front tire down on that 15 car of Christian Eckes? I believe it is. You can see a little bit of smoke trailing from the left front. He got into the outside safety barrier with the right side of that car.
We talked about the highs and lows of Michael Self, but now the caution is out for Christian Eckes. Another championship points hit. It all started with a torn trachea that forced him to miss one of the short track events. He climbs right back into it with a win in Nashville, a 3rd place finish in Toledo last Sunday. And now just that quick, that had to be something that broke in that car.
You can see that left front tire is down. I'm sure he must have run over something. They've had 0 issues with these General Tires today.
So we're shuffling up the deck early here. Caution is out at the racetrack as Michael Self dominates. What is the condition of Christian Eckes? All to be updated when we come back to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
It's a special night. ARCA hasn't raced at Charlotte Motor Speedway since 2004. It's not raining, but we've had some pretty significant lightning in the area, and everybody's excited about being here tonight.
Drivers, start your engine!
And we are racing at Charlotte, and we've got one sideways. That's Graff.
Just some contact.
21 laps in, and incident Doza,
Hard
57.
Doza. Sure is.
Owuji to 34.
Makes hard contact with a 22 at Dipple.
Boy, that's a hard hit into the wall. The restart might be the key. It might decide this one. Who's going to get the jump? Jones does not get a good start. And look at Creed through the middle, making it 3 wide. But Jones fights back. Brandon Jones out front. Riley Herbst close behind in second. Can Herbst get close enough to make a move on the final lap? Around the lap traffic. Here comes Brandon Jones to the line. He's going to win his first race here in 2018.
That a flashback to 2018 here as the ARCA Menards Series welcomes you back. A look in on board at Riley Herbst, the ARCA onboard camera. Brandon Jones, the defending champion, able to join us now in the booth for a little bit tonight. A man who made 23 starts in the ARCA Menards Series, ultimately capturing 5 wins. But Brandon, first off, thank you for joining us. Secondly, tell me what the ARCA Menards Series did to help your racing career.
Yeah, man, this is such a fun opportunity for me to come up here and hang out with you guys this afternoon. This series is great, man. I've, like you said, been able to run a few races in this series. Had a lot of success. Had a few wins here and there. I actually got my first 2 wins in my first 2 starts, so that was really cool. And this series has helped me so much. Obviously, winning this race last year at Charlotte was huge for me. I've always been pretty good at this racetrack, but that was just more of a confidence boost to get to the Xfinity level in Truck Series.
Full-time Xfinity with Joe Gibbs Racing, also racing in the Truck Series with Kyle Busch. We'll have more with Brandon Jones as the action gets set to continue. But first, let's find out more of what happened with the 15. Jamie Howe down pit side.
Well, the first message on the radio from Christian Eckes to his team and his crew chief, Kevin Reed, was that he went into the corner and something broke. Once he made it down to pit lane, they determined that he had the left front tire that was down completely. They went ahead, replaced that tire, sent him back out. They've now evaluated it, said there's no significant damage to the right side of that car where he did hit the wall. But what Kevin Reed has done is told his team that he would like to get 4 new tires out here on pit lane. That has to be approved by ARCA. That's what he's looking for as we go forward.
Well, I'm not a crew chief, but that tire doesn't look good.
Yeah, and I think the ARCA officials will do that too. I mean, that was so early on. If it was going to provide a competitive advantage, if he had 30 laps on those tires and cut one down and got in the wall, they wouldn't allow that. But I think they will allow that set of tires.
As it is right now, Eckes able to stay on the lead lap.
He's still smoking though, isn't he, Dave? Do you see some smoke trailing from that car?
He's being scored right now in the 19th position. We mentioned Riley Herbst in the ARCA onboard camera. He started in the 9th position right now. He's running in the number 5 spot, going in the right direction.
Yeah, he was so fast in practice. I mean, 5-lap average, 10-lap average, overall average lap times. He was so fast.
There's Harrison Burton, the General Tire onboard camera, currently running in 3rd, as we mentioned. Going to walk across the stage at Cannon High School. 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. What a weekend for him.
How about our 2-time winner this year, Michael Self? This is Sinclair on board, our point leader, looking to make it 3 wins in 2019.
And finally, the 77, Joe Graff Jr., the Fast Kids Club car. It started in the number 10 spot. Cars are stacked back up. The lights are off. Green light set to replace the yellow, and we're back underway. Brandon Jones continues alongside of us. Are you a good fan of watching all the action?
Man, I love this. This is huge for me to be able to watch this and take notes for my race in the Xfinity Series. Obviously a night race, but watch these guys practice during the day and get some good notes off of it.
Got to report that Christian Eckes came back down pit road with that 15 car. He definitely was smoking there on the caution. May have done some damage. The rubber off that carcass of that tire could have done some damage. As we take a look at Sheldon Creed, grab that 3rd spot away from Tanner Gray.
Tanner sliding back to the number 4 spot, but if you're looking to learn, no better person to sit behind than that man, defending series champion.
We're hearing that maybe he cut down yet another left front tire, so undoubtedly something must be rubbing under there.
Yep. Meanwhile, a Sunday drive on a Thursday night for Michael Self. Open up with 3/10 of a second lead. Riley Herbst working the top side against the 22, Majeski. That's Majeski trying to take away the 5th spot. He's got the inside line here.
Yeah, this deal came along pretty late. Ty Majeski was telling me today that he's going to run several more races for Chad Bryant in this 22 car.
Looking outside the left side window, Riley Herbst.
Like he was really sawing on that steering wheel a little bit, didn't it, Brandon?
Man, big time there. I think that car's a little bit loose, but I think that's what you got to have here to be able to win this race.
He will give up a position. How about the 7 machine from out of nowhere? Corey Robar comes rolling on by.
When we looked at the weather, it's still pretty warm out there. Again, the track temperature is going to be down because of the sun being down, but still, this is pretty warm outside.
That is a 4-pack of cars all racing for position. 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Who wants it? It's awful early in the race to be this racy. The track position could be very valuable as well.
Woo! Riley Herbst drove it hard in there, but the 7 car drove back in on his door. I thought Riley was going to get loose underneath that 7 car.
And here comes Christian Eckes in the 15. He is a couple of laps down. Stranger things have happened. You can race your way back onto that lead lap, and I guarantee that young man's not giving up just yet.
It's been all Michael Self so far. He's led every one of our 14 laps. Has almost a 2-second lead right now on Harrison Burton in the 20 car.
So, Brandon, you are the defending champion of this race. Phil and I have already talked about it, but unique corners. Take us through 1 and 2 like Michael Self's doing. Now, what do you want to do?
Yeah, there's very 2 different corners here. Obviously, you've got way more banking here in 1 and 2. You want to run right around the bottom, get going. That PJ1 compound, though, I do feel like that's going to come up here later on in the race.
Caution is out. 3 and 4, though, an entirely different set of turns.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 and 4, you got to be a lot more patient. You want to arc the corner a little bit less. There's a lot of bumps on the entry as well there that can really upset the car. So that's something that you want to try to avoid.
Second caution out early for a man making his ARCA debut. This is 20-year-old Devin Dotson from Bishopville, Maryland. Said he just wanted to come out and get experience. He's had plenty of it today. Practice getting spun around a couple of times too.
Yeah, he was out one time behind a car that was losing oil, and that caused one of his spins. But Doesn't appear to be a great deal of damage. They worked really hard making repairs to this car for the damage he had in that practice spin.
From go-karts at age 5 to the dirt modifieds, eventually the late models. He's got a family business. Dwayne Dotson, his dad, they got a plumbing, heating, and air business out there in Maryland. And that's what's got him on the racetrack. Hopefully he can get a few more laps as we'll get everything set back up and return to green flag racing here at the General Tire 150, race number 7 for the ARCA Menards series. Back at America's home for racing, complete with a Ferris wheel for the kids. Back at the General Tire 150, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Michael Self has led all 18 laps to this point. A race slowed, though, by its second caution. Time now for our Bounty Rookie Spotlight. We're talking about a youngster making his ARCA debut. It's Tanner Gray, the Pro Stock champion, the youngest champion in NHRA history. He won for the first time at 17, then at 19 years of age. Best in them all. When you can join the likes of Ronnie Sox, Dino Don Nicholson, Warren Johnson, Bob Glidden, Lee Shepard, Erica Enders, you're in good company. But he says, no, I want to keep learning.
And how about the K&N Series running full-time there? Already went to Victory Lane earlier this year at South Boston, Virginia, a very tight little third-mile track.
And right now, Tanner Gray being scored in the number 3 position on the racetrack. This young man says it's an entirely different discipline. The NHRA on-track action taught him nothing for this series, but he said it did get the kid mentally prepared.
Yeah, and what a great team he's with, too. David Gillen, Bola Mastis, DJR Crosley. What a great team. They have cars in the ARCA Series, the K&N Series, and the Truck Series, and really doing a nice job.
Rookie points right now being led by Tommy Vi Jr. in the number 10 Extreme Cleaner Ford car, but he's getting a lot of pressure put on him by Christian Eckes, but Eckes has already had his issues tonight, so maybe Tommy Vi is in pretty good hands so far. But Brandon Jones, the defending champion of this race, has been with us. And gosh, I look over at you and I think you can't be 20-0, right?
22, actually.
20, geez, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm a veteran, man. What are you talking about?
Golly. You got to be pretty impressed, though, by these young kids today.
Man, absolutely. This is actually a really stout field that we're looking at this evening at the ARCA race. A lot of big hitters here this weekend.
Michael Self lining up alongside of the graduation man, Harrison Burton. Before they go green, let's check in with Jamie.
Just scanning in on the radios, Harrison's crew chief, Mike Hillman, he told him if the 25 comes, you duck to pit lane as well. He said, we're racing him, we're racing the 18. Otherwise, keep your eyes forward. They elected to stay out, and you see how those chips fell right now.
Phil, is it worth talking about? 2 sets of General tires. 8 total tires, but 2 sets. With the early pit stops, it'd be interesting to see how these teams elect to use those tires.
Yeah, I think they're fine. Even if you came in now and put tires on at 17, then these most of the crew chiefs said these tires were really lasting pretty well. That's what was so surprising about Christian Eckes losing that left front tire. Obviously must have run over something or something under the car rubbing. But I think most of the guys said, hey, we may only stop one time. But the guys that stopped early obviously have to stop yet again.
3 Toyotas lead 2 Chevys. It's Self and Burton on the front row. The 54 is Gray. The 21 is Creed, the defending series champion. So they make their way off turn number 4 here in Charlotte. Set to throw the green for the 3rd time. Working now, lap number 20.
Three of our top 6 runners right now all ran the truck race here last Friday night.
Look at Tanner Gray with a solid start in that 54 on the bottom.
Watch Creed, see if he makes it 3 wide on top with
He's
the 21
looking at
car.
it. How about that pass by the 21?
We know Sheldon Creed is not afraid to go to the top of the racetrack.
A mighty pass to move in the number 2 spot. Now he sets his sights on the 25 machine. The Sinclair Toyota, that dinosaur. Everybody knows that dinosaur.
Nobody has really been able to match the speed during this race so far that Michael Self has had. It's nice to see what Sheldon Creed may be able to do with him here.
So Brandon Jones, I want to put you in the seat of Sheldon Creed. How would you manage this portion of the race still with 79 laps to go?
Well, Sheldon was in the race that we won last year, and he was actually a contender as well in that race.
Yep, absolutely.
So I think that he learned from what he needed to do to try to win the race. He's been obviously really good in the truck series. That's obviously an aggressive series to run in as well. So I think you're going to see some of that knowledge that he's learned in the truck series transfer over here tonight.
At 7's Cody Robaugh, the 22-time Majeski. They had a battle for 7th on the racetrack, but with more on the 21. Here's Jamie.
One of the things that Sheldon Creed learned in that truck race was how to get up to the high side, stay comfortable. But what he was missing, particularly late in the run, once he starts to lose some of the grip, was getting momentum off of the corner. And what they've done this weekend is they put in a shorter gear just to give him that little bit of an extra push that he needs. He's thinking that could be as an advantage when we get later into the race.
Still only one top 10 in the Truck Series through 8 races. You think Sheldon Creed needed this confidence boost that he's getting right now?
Yeah, but he's led 92 laps here. He had the best truck at Dover, had the lead, led a bunch of that race, and got caught up in an incident late in the race. But he has some speed. That's the easy part. He's got the speed. He'll get it all put together and get to the end, and he'll be a contender for sure.
You see the 20 car, Harrison Burton now running in the 3rd spot. Tanner Gray getting his hands full there with Riley Herbst.
Here comes that 18 car, Riley Herbst. Again, we talked about how fast that car was in practice. Again, but this racetrack is quite a bit different. As we see the 777, we're getting a report that Joe Graff Jr. changed lanes before the start-finish line on a restart. This is his onboard.
Have to stay in line.
You have to stay in line, even though that 27 car was slow on the get-go. You have to stay in line, or I think give that position back. Obviously, Joe did not do that, and they brought him to pit road.
That's going to put him a lap down now. Scored in the 18th position, 17 cars still on the lead lap. None quicker than that Sinclair 25.
Yeah, he's opened up over a second lead already on Sheldon Creed. I thought Sheldon Creed might be able to match the speed of Michael Self, but not so far.
You know, I'm surprised we haven't really seen anybody work the top groove yet, honestly. I've been kind of watching it here and thinking that someone's going to try to get that second, third lane working to try to get some speed.
Making it look easy right now. Points leader for the 2nd time this year. I exchanged texts with him heading into this race. Says, you comfortable in that position? He says, based on everything that's happened this year, no. Nobody's been able to hold on to it for more than 1 race in a row. But right now, Michael Self is in firm control. He was our General Tire pole winner. He is also our points leader. And as we are now 27 laps through 100 here in Charlotte, Michael Self leads the race here. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the General Tire 150. It is a 3-car battle right now for the 3rd position on the racetrack. The 20 car, the graduate tomorrow, Harrison Burton, holds that position, but the 54 of Gray is all over him. Behind him, it's the 22 and the 4, Ty Majeski.
Yeah, Tanner Gray's been trying to figure out a way to get around the 20 of Harrison Burton.
And right now, they race nose to tail. Take a look at the gap that Michael Self has opened up. Almost 4.5 seconds.
I've been watching the lap times, Brandon. I'm sure you have too, and he's been running sub 31-second laps. He's the only car even close to being able to do that.
Yeah, it kind of scares me though, man. I think these guys are going to work on their cars here in these pit stops, and I think they're going to go a lot closer to that 25.
Big run off the top side. Gray looks to the inside of the 54. Does he have enough momentum?
Got a lot of momentum as he came off the top in turn number 2.
Oh,
it'll be a slow car.
Getting his way. That's the 06.
Harrison did a nice job using that to his advantage.
And I think it's going to cost him another spot. You can see Ty Majeski, the 22, got by as well.
You were told in the drivers' meeting, if you're getting passed, you're supposed to go to the bottom of the racetrack. That's exactly what Con Nicolopoulos did. And that's exactly the spot Tanner Gray was looking at.
Yeah, he did nothing wrong. He absolutely did nothing wrong. Just a bad break for Tanner Gray.
And now it's Majeski that'll look to the bottom side in the 22. Pay attention to the left side of your screen. As we go on board in our General Tire onboard camera. Another lap car down there. Going to provide some resistance. Will he? Yes, he will. That's the 11 machine. Jason Miles, another ARCA debut. From right here in Charlotte, North Carolina area.
Talked to Jason in the garage area yesterday, and he said he actually started racing as a teenager and then quit for about 20 years and started racing again this year.
Tanner now tries to work his way back up, being scored in the 5th position. Jamie Howe has more.
And Tanner is on the radio listening to his spotter, Paul Griffin, who's coaching him around. Remember, he's still learning all of this. This is actually the first track that Tanner's been on where there's an emphasis on aero, and in practice he spent a lot of time getting a feel for the air and his comfort around other cars. Paul Griffin just told him, what you did in that 2nd lane, that was perfect. It was just a bad break. You can do it again, and that pass will work. He said, you're doing well.
Saw the 22 car make a nice move there to get around the 20 machine.
Yeah, Ty Majeski has run one other race this year. He finished 4th at Talladega. Didn't run any ARCA Menards races last year. His last time in an ARCA car prior to Talladega this year was at Kansas, our finale in 2017, and he finished in the runner-up spot there.
His 11th career start. This guy is good. 3 top 5s, 8 top 10s in just the 10 races he's raced in. In fact, this guy has only missed 2 laps in that entire time. 1,156 of a potential 1,158 right now on the lead lap here.
You have to love that consistency, and you have to love the move that Tanner Gray is putting on Harrison Burton right now. I think that move's going to work right there as he beats him down into turn number 1.
Spent 2 years watching this kid grow and mature in the NHRA. He is a very driven young man. Patience, that may not be his forte. He's displaying that right now as he tries to get around the 20 machine.
You know, the lap car there looks like the lap car may be able to give them room.
That's the 57, Brian Dotson.
I think Tanner decided to fall in behind Harrison and not chance it. Here comes the red number 23. That's Brett Holmes. He is one of those guys that pitted on that caution at lap 17, and he's made his way all the way back up to the 6th spot here as he tries to go around the outside of Riley Herbst.
22-year-old Brandon Jones, the defending champion, is in the booth right now. And if you're Tanner Gray, what would you be muttering underneath your helmet? Because that road just is blocked in front of him.
There is so much to learn, man. I cannot imagine the change of scenery from NHRA to the ARCA Menards series. But you got to be watching these guys. You got to be watching how they're side drafting. You got to be watching how they're using their runs. I think that's one thing that he could capitalize on, maybe a little bit better on some of these cars, is working the side draft harder and pulling them back.
There's no better way to do it than stick your nose out there. You learn on the job.
And he's doing a nice job. Look at this move. He's going to get on the outside. What a run he got on the outside of Harrison Burton.
That was huge.
There's some grip up there, isn't there, Brandon?
There is. You're starting to see it come alive. I think they're going to be majority bottom of 3 and 4 here, but that 1 and 2 groove, man, it really works well.
Well, this learning curve for the young man, 19 years of age, isn't a horizontal one. It is definitely on the vertical rise as Tanner Gray makes his way up to number 4 spot. On board with the ARCA coolers on board, Riley Herbst. He's got some traffic in front of him. The leader continues to be Michael Self, a lead that's grown now to almost 9 seconds. That Sinclair machine is doing a job. He's got the points lead, and he's got no plans on letting it go anytime soon. But how about young Tanner Gray to the outside of Harrison Burton, improving his position in Charlotte. On board, you ride with the race leader, Michael Self, and his Sinclair number 25. He is simply dominating the General Tire 150, the 7th stop for the ARCA Menards series. Brandon Jones is the defending champion who's been watching the action along with us. You used the term rocket ship. There's nothing wrong with this car.
No, absolutely not. One thing I see him doing now, searching around for grip. He's got such a huge lead that he can start doing that, start playing around the racetrack some and learn for later in this race if he ever has to get buried back in traffic some.
We were talking about, you know, nobody on the racetrack as the 57 gets loose as he goes by on the outside. That nobody else can come anywhere close to his lap times. He's still running without traffic laps around 31 flat and below.
24 cars started this race. That man has already lapped up to 9th as we approach the halfway portion of this race.
I think most of these guys on the racetrack, with the exception of Michael Self, are screaming for a caution flag. They need to get in and let their crew chiefs adjust on these cars a little bit.
Let's get one more look at that. Well, near hit, if you will. Fortunately for Michael Self and all the troubles he's had this year, it ended up being a miss.
Yeah, you saw the 57 of Brian Dotson get a little bit loose there as Michael was going by on the outside, and him going by on the outside probably just made that even worse.
Yeah, for sure. It's so hard to work traffic sometimes, especially when they get racing right there with 2 wide.
Man who spends his off time coaching the Trans Am Series is dominating tonight on the ARCA side. Goes by the 10 of Tommy Vi Jr. to put him 3 laps down now. And Tommy Vi is being scored in the 17th position. Caution, though, is out on the racetrack with 50 laps completed as Con Nicolopoulos has got front end and back end damage on that 06 car, and he is on pit road. Probably not the way he wanted to get there.
He may have even made contact with the wall on pit road. He was the car that was racing with Brian Dotson as Michael Self came along to put them another lap down.
Good news is the net is down. A late look. There's Nicolopoulos. Yep, coming to. There's the front end. There's the back end. Oh, and he hit one of the.
Right at the opening.
At the opening there. Columbus, Michigan native. Some obvious damage in that great railing machine. So what will that do now, in your opinion, Phil, of this race? Self is, again, lapped up to number 9.
Well, that gets everybody in their window not to make it the rest of the way. So everyone's going to come to pit road now, put tires on. Then they're good to go to the end. Most of the guys will have another set of tires that they may elect to put on at some other time. But the biggest thing is, Brandon and I were talking, is adjustments. These crew chiefs need to make some adjustments to try to keep up with that 25 car.
So while they work on Nicolopoulos, pit road being closed right now, a good opportunity. We talked about Bobby Labonte being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Brandon, you drive for the coach, Joe Gibbs. That in itself is an honor, but now he's heading to the Hall of Fame. How cool is it to drive for the coach?
Not only cool, man, what an honor to be able to drive for a Hall of Famer. Coach is such a great guy, such a fun gentleman to work with. He'll give you anything, his shirt off your back if he has to.
Brandon, that 25 car's smoking, isn't it?
It is. I don't know what's going on there with that.
It certainly was performing on the racetrack without any issues, but that car, without a doubt, is showing
it is
smoke
right now.
You know, they're always really fast till they blow up.
Yeah.
Well, he was plenty fast now for those first 51.
Pit road is still closed. That's why they did not come down pit road, because of the car crashing at the entrance to pit road.
So will the dynamic of this race change? About to find out. Curious to see what they're saying on the radio right now.
There's a lot of smoke.
Yeah. You don't see it on the onboard camera.
Without a doubt, it's trailing
But it is
smoke
coming out
underneath.
the back. Yep, right there.
Looks like that's picking up a little bit too as he runs.
I think so too. I think it's getting worse. Never saw it when they were racing under green, just when they slowed down under this caution. What a horrible break it would be for Michael Self to, after dominating this race like he has, to be put out by something.
Pit stops, no doubt to come. Self continues to lead in the 25 car. Behind him, he's the 21. Last year's champ, Sheldon Creed. Ty Majeski being scored in the number 3 spot. Tanner Gray holding his own in the 4th spot in the 54. And Brett Holmes now in the 23. He's raced his way up to 5th. But all things are about to change quickly here.
They're definitely going to change if the 25 can't continue due to that smoke.
So all eyes on what's going on with that 25. All 3 of the Venturini cars brand new. They've been targeting this race since the completion of Daytona. And right now he's the only one of the lead pack coming to pit road. Nope, here comes Creed, Majeski, and everybody else. Jamie Howe's down there covering all the action. What do you find out so far?
Well, the number 21 was Sheldon Creed behind the wheel. He said in the 5 out of 10 scale, it was tight. A 5 out of 10 started plowing later on in the run. That needed to get some good laps. Nothing really started working. He said, I need you to free it up. And then on the number 25, we saw that smoke when we came under caution. They asked him to turn the fan on in the right rear, brought him in. 4 new tires, he's back out.
Hey, Harrison Burton, the 20 car, also on pit road. He will go with 4 tires, but that smoke is continuing as the 25 car Michael Self leaves pit road.
And they acted as if there was nothing else going on. It was a routine pit stop for Michael Self.
With as strong as that car was, I definitely would have taken my time there and looked over that really well.
Well, we will see what's going on with the 25 when we return. As it is, he continues to circle as the race leader. But what kind of concern do we have with our point leader? We'll find out when we come back to the General Tire 150. We're racing in Charlotte. Things are really heating up in the ARCA Menards series. Race number 7 is the General Tire 150. A very busy stretch. The ARCA Menards series goes 7 races in 35 days. The last time they were on the track just 4 days ago in Toledo. But here, under the lights tonight, it has been a race dominated by Michael Self. Time now just past halfway for our Richmond Water Heaters mid-race recap.
Quick jump by Michael Self on the initial start. Opens up to a 3-car length lead.
Tanner Gray doing a good job along with Harrison Burton, but the first caution of the night follows the 15 car getting up into the wall. Christian Eckes cutting down a left front.
Yeah, something was obviously rubbing and It happened a second time, and then
How about the big-time move topside? Charged by the defending series champion, moving into second. That is Sheldon Creed getting it done.
yeah, right after the restart, he uses the top of the racetrack to make it happen. There's Ty Majeski going for the third position, getting by Harrison Burton in the 20 car.
Don't forget about the 54 car, though. Tanner Gray showing his learning curve is definitely on the way up as Harrison Burton drops another position. Close call, though, for Self. You rode on board with him earlier. This is what it looked like from the top cameras. But then Con Nicolopoulos brings out the caution. We're not sure if he was trying to dive onto pit road, but ultimately he ended up on pit road with front end and back end damage. But this is the big question mark now moving forward.
I think they're hoping that when he restarts this race, maybe that smoke will go away as you see the race off pit road. It wasn't much of a race off pit road. He had such a huge lead when he came in, but now it's just a question of whether that smoke will dissipate when they go back to green, Jamie.
And that's what series officials are trying to figure out right now, too, as they're up at the pit cart talking to crew chief Shannon Rush, trying to figure out where it's coming from and what they're going to do about it. He says when we're running, everything is fine. He's having him turn the fans off, turn the fans back on, try to get rid of some of that smoke at the rear of the car. But right now he's pleading his case. He's saying, don't bring us in. Once we go green, we're going to be okay.
The word is the 21 that's lining up right behind him, Sheldon Creed, maybe getting a little bit of fluids on his windshield.
Yeah, I think if Sheldon Creed says, hey, I'm getting oil on my windshield, then the ARCA officials will have no choice but to bring him in. But we'll see once they restart this race if that smoke goes away. But gosh, I doubt it.
It's been a crazy stretch for Michael Self. You saw that 14th in Nashville. That was as the point leader. He lost it on that day, but gained it back with a solid finish combined with Traven Braden's disappointment from Toledo. But he says he doesn't know if he wants that position or not. He doesn't know if it's a cursed position. But right now, he's doing everything he can to put a little bit of space in the points. The question is, that smoke.
There doesn't appear to be anything wrong with the performance of the engine.
A really good restart there.
Still see a little bit of smoke, though.
Look at Riley Herbst, though, on the inside in that number 18 car. He's now moved his way into fourth.
Majeski, the 22 car in the third spot, put a new sponsor on that car about 2 hours. We got a situation on the backstretch. Caution is out.
This time it's the 69 car. That is Scott Melton out of Rockford, Michigan. It brings out our fourth caution. Great commentary from Brandon Jones, the defending champion of this event. We know you got to get away, but thanks for hanging out with us a while and enjoying some of this ARCA action tonight.
Yeah, it's been fun, guys. Thank you. Thanks to everyone here. Thanks to everyone at Menards for making this happen for me as well.
How about practice today? How was your car?
It was good. I was able to really work that top groove, middle groove, and 1 and 2 there. Also got my throttle trace down really smooth. I was aggressive before, and it was upsetting the car some. So I think I learned with my throttle some there and got really consistent lap times.
All right, how about getting that first win on Saturday?
Sounds good. Let's get it done.
All right,
man,
buddy.
go get her, man. That is Brandon Jones. Under caution. 58 laps completed. They're working 59. We hope we can go 40 laps of green flag racing to see if this man, Michael Self, in the 25, can hold on and win the General Tire 150. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the ARCA Menards Series. On board with Michael Self, the General Tire 150. A race that also happens to be filmed the third round of the General Tire Super Speedway Challenge. We're talking about 9 races held on pavement ovals bigger than a mile. You get double points for those ones highlighted in yellow, and it's all about recognizing the car owner.
Yeah, I really like this a lot. And that's why, so many people put a lot of emphasis into. Some people will only run these General Tire Super Speedway Challenge races. But as you mentioned, this is a huge race here, as well as next week in Pocono because of the double points.
Let's take a look at those standings as they stand right now. It's been very interesting. We got Todd Gilliland picking up a race win, helping Bo Lamastus get closer and closer to Bill Venturini, but those Venturini Motorsports cars have been doing very good. So that's how they stand at this point. The question mark, though, continues to be the 25. And for more answers, we'll go to Jamie.
Officials still in the pit of the number 25 car, Shannon. When we talk about the smoke at the back, you say it's good once you get running. Where is it coming from?
Well, kind of the way that the Ilmore engines are and the way that we run these oil systems. When you're going slow here, oil builds up in the oil pan. When it's hot, it kind of leaks a little bit, but it's not it's not putting any oil on the track. It's just a little bit of drips on the exhaust. So when you're at speed, there's no oil in the oil pan, so it can't leak.
Thank you.
You like the explanation, Phil?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would say for sure. And it was, I think, once we restarted the race again, we didn't run very long, but I think it definitely got better.
We watched during the commercial break on board with Michael Self, who continued to rev that engine up. Let it cause. Rev it up. Does that help out?
I'm not sure.
He was trying everything for sure, but as it is right now, still smoke.
Majeski now, the 22 car. I'm sure the ARCA Menards officials are asking him and asking his crew, is Ty complaining about oil getting on his windshield? Sheldon Creed, who restarted right behind Michael Self, now is in the second position, so he will start beside the 25 of Self.
Wow, what a big weekend here in Charlotte. Memorial Day. You've got the Xfinity Series coming up on Saturday. Got the Patriotic Nationals, the World of Outlaws across the street at the dirt track Friday and Saturday, and of course the Coke 600.
It really doesn't get any better than this.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
And what a way to kick it off here this week with the ARCA Menards Series. Had a great weekend last weekend. Had the Truck Series on Friday night and the Monster Energy All-Star Race on Saturday.
Well, that was fun.
$1 million Kyle Larson won.
Young money. Picking up another big payday. Hopefully that gets his season kick-started here when it comes to points racing. Well, the man on point is the point leader, but boy, that smoke just continues to look worse and worse and worse. Shannon Rush, the crew chief, says it's not a big deal. I guarantee there are, well, at least 10 other cars on the lead lap behind him that would like to see it be a bigger deal. He says it goes away when the green flag comes out, and it is out. Does it clear up? Certainly looks to.
We need to give it a lap or so and see if there was any residual oil that we can burn off.
Defending series champ Sheldon Creed, the 21, runs second. I'm not sure if it's going down or not. Riley Herbst, though, look at the run he's made on the outside. He's moving to the number 3 spot. Burton back on the bottom side of the 20, claims 4th.
I'm telling you, that smoke is definitely better, Dave. I'm not sure that smoke didn't go away.
Looks pretty good there. It's like Shannon knew what he was talking about.
Absolutely. We need this race to go green then the rest of the way. We don't need any more caution flags. Give that thing a chance to smoke as we see Ty Majeski move to the outside of Harrison Burton to grab that 4th spot. I talked a few moments ago before we had that caution flag. Crestliner Boats came on board just today. They put the decals on this 22 for Ty Majeski with sponsorship, so good for them.
You're on board with Harrison Burton. Doing what Tanner Gray did a few years ago in the NHRA, going to a national event, getting a diploma the next day. He will do that tomorrow morning. 16 family members high atop the racetrack in a suite, going to be part of the celebration tomorrow, but it's this man who hopes to be doing the most celebrating later tonight.
I really like the looks of this 22 car. He had a good run going. He had to shut it down when it got down to turn number 3, but he moves to the inside of Riley Herbst to try to grab that 3rd spot.
Well, if there's a man on the box that could make a difference, the 22 might have it. Paul Anders, the legend, kind of calling the shots for him.
Yeah, Paul's been around this sport a long time. Really good guy. Does a great job with his organization. Chad Bryant stepped in, bought this organization. Winner before last, used to be Cunningham Motorsports, and just continuing with no fall off whatsoever.
Jimmy Howe is more.
One thing before the pit stop that Ty Majeski was complaining about was that it was really tight over the bumps in turn 3 and turn 4. So they brought him in with that at the caution, took 4 tires. Now he says he has really good balance after the adjustments that they made, and he has a car that's a lot happier.
Right now he runs alone in that number 3 position.
Trying to chase down
up to 21.
Yeah, trying to chase down Sheldon Creed in the 21.
And a big gap back to Herbst in the 18. Michael Self already has built that lead back up to almost 1.4 seconds. And that smoke we've been talking about, non-existent.
Gone. I'm not going to doubt Shannon Rush anymore.
Absolutely not.
I didn't doubt him then, truthfully, but I'm certainly not going to doubt him now.
I saw the competitor in you come out, though. If you were behind him, you weren't really happy.
Oh, totally. There'd been oil all over my windshield. This last restart just a few moments ago. Watch Sheldon Creed on the outside. Watch him spin the tires.
Oh, you see that back end wiggle around a little bit? Herbst comes up and tags him in the rear.
And what a nice launch by the 25 of Michael Self. Now let's take a look at this from Riley. First onboard camera. You see he gets on the throttle. He's spinning them a little bit and then has to check up because Creed was spinning his tires and coming back to him.
Interesting to see the air pressures at play as those little
Hood flaps
are going up and down. That's a unique look for sure. Gap now 1.2 seconds. Creed continues to hold on. Great to have him back in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I know he was looking forward to this. Came over for that open test here a week or so, or a couple weeks ago. This is GMS team, the same team that he drives for in the truck series. Their driver development program. Sam Mayer drives this car on the short tracks. He's not old enough to drive on the 1.5 yet.
General Tire 150 leaderboard. It's on the left side of your television screen. It shows that this man, last year's series champion, Sheldon Creed, runs in the second spot. He won that championship last year with an exclamation point in Kansas, but does he have enough time to run this man down at Charlotte Motor Speedway? It is Memorial Day weekend. That means NASCAR comes home to Charlotte with 600 miles of wheel-to-wheel action. We're talking Busch, Hamlin, Elliott, and the rest of NASCAR's top drivers squaring off. It's the Coca-Cola 600 on Sunday, which begins with FS1 coverage race day at 4:30 Eastern. Then it moves over to Fox at 5:30, the green flag at 6 p.m. And how about the front row settled earlier today, the youngest pole sitter ever for the Coke 600?
How about 21-year-old William Byron getting the pole for the Coca-Cola 600?
We'll run alongside of Eric Almirola.
You see that? You see the quarter mile there? They use the front stretch, they use pit road, and they connect it with those little asphalt patches.
Yeah.
That's where William Byron got his start running legend cars, right here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And look at this, with 25 to go, do we have a race for the lead? Michael Self's lead has shrunk to 0.3 of a second. Sheldon Creed is coming.
He is coming. He actually closed it up pretty close to Michael Self's bumper. Now Michael Self is moving around looking for some grip, and I think he found him a groove down there in 1 and 2. You saw the gap he put on Sheldon Creed right there by running up high.
First caution of the day was brought out by the 15 of Christian Eckes. He's got himself in position for a free pass. We've been watching his lap times. He could make this interesting too, but he's going to need that caution soon.
Yeah, he's one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, but he will have to have a caution to get that lap back with only 23 now laps to go.
Herbst takes over third, and the number 18 car takes it away from the 22 of Majeski. Both of those cars have looked racy at times. None better in practice, though, earlier than that 18.
Yeah, I think it just didn't transfer to tonight. He just lost some of that advantage he had during the day. Still has a great run going, running in the third spot.
Riley picking up a win at Pocono back in 2017. Since then, 5 second-place finishes has been the best he's had. He says, this car and me, we've been second enough. We need a win. That win needs to come tonight.
And he'll be in that car again next week at Pocono.
With more on Riley, let's go check in with Jamie.
I talked to Riley after qualifying and said, what happened in between practice and qualifying to your race car? And he said that he just went down on the apron. He said he made the mistake there, let his team down, and certainly happy with the performance of the car right now. But I also want to go forward to the number 21 with Sheldon Creed, his spotter, Lauren Ranier, longtime spotter with Jamie McMurray. He's giving him a lot of encouragement, saying, you're catching him really quick. This track is very line sensitive. Hit your marks. Keep it up. You are quicker than the leader, but he's cautioning him to stop line searching. He said, hold your line or you're going to lose 2 spots.
Scoring and timing suggests otherwise, though. He was catching him. Is this a case of Michael Self playing a little rope-a-dope here?
Well, I think when Michael Self moved around, found some grip up there, all of a sudden his lap times went way down now. Now he's sub 31 seconds a lap. The only car on the racetrack be able to do that. He beat Sheldon Creed that lap by 0.4 of a second.
Gap that once shrunk down to about 0.2 of a second, back up to 1.8. Michael Self again making it look easy. 20 laps away from going wire to wire. Last time we had a pole winner take the ARCA win on the same day. Got to go back to when Ryan Newman set the track record here. That was a long time ago.
That was what, 2000 maybe? Something
yes, sir.
Like that? Rocket Man.
Well, with 19 laps to go, it is the car number 25 that controls the race, as he's done most of the night. There was some concern for smoke, but he says at speed, this car's a rocket ship. Is he on his way to an out-of-this-world night in Charlotte? 19 laps, we'll find out. Caution is out on the racetrack at the General Tire 150. We believe it's been caused by your race leader, Michael Self. What happened? We're about to show you.
He's been so fast. You watch him drive down in turn number 1. He has to go around the lap car. He's going to run. He's been running to the top of the racetrack. Looked like he hit a bump over turn number 1, and the car got out from under him just a little bit, made slight contact with the outside wall, never spun all the way around. He may even elect to stay on the racetrack, Dave.
Another look on board. Oh, just that quick.
What a great job he does by minimizing the contact with the outside wall and not spinning that car around, not flat spotting those tires. You see the smoke is back again because he's running under reduced speed here in the caution flag. But man, oh man, what a great job that was by Michael Self.
This is a man, Phil, looking for a little retribution. He came to Charlotte for the first time last year in the ARCA Menards series, went out in qualifying and crashed his primary car, had to bring out a backup car, limped his way around. He says, this is really my first trip to Charlotte to showcase what I can do. And did he throw it away with 14 to go?
Well, I think he stays on the racetrack, because I think right now if he was to give up track position and come to pit road, well, now everyone else is going to come to pit road.
It's Creed, it's Herbst. They're the first two. They were running second and third. Majeski behind him.
Now he's a sitting duck out there, going to be by himself, the only guy without tires. And let's make mention that Christian Eckes did get to free passes back on the lead lap.
Things have just changed in a big, big way, Jamie.
And some small adjustments for Sheldon Creed. That number 21 machine looks like they are going to take 4 tires, lose some track position because the 25 that was out front made the decision not to make this pit stop. We'll see what happens here.
They had trouble on the right front on that 21 of Sheldon Creed. There's Brett Holmes, the 23 car. Looks like he's going to win the battle off the pit road. Here comes Sheldon Creed. He's going to be second off pit road. Then Ty Majeski, Riley Herbst. Here comes Harrison Burton. And then Tanner Gray in the 54 car.
Drama has come to us in a big, big way. Shannon Rush with questions about Michael Self's number 25 that continues to be the race leader here, but for just how long? These storylines here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, they are a-changing as we welcome you back for the 7th stop of 20 in 2019, the General Tire 150, a race that's been dominated by the 25 of Michael Self, but he's the one that has brought out the caution. That changed everything. Cars came to pit lane. Sheldon Creed got nabbed for speeding.
He sure did. He had trouble on his pit stop, lost the battle off pit road to Brett Holmes, but even worse news, he's going to have to go back to the tail end of the longest line, lose all that track position, and will restart this race. The 11th place car on the lead lap probably takes him completely out of contention for this win.
Especially with 11 laps to go. In the for what it's worth, Christian Eckes does get back on the lead lap. He's had to work his way there, but he was the lucky dog, and he will slide now to the tail of the lead line cars.
Puts him back in contention, and he was one of the fastest cars we had on the racetrack. He can come in, put 4 fresh tires on because he has nothing to lose. He will have to restart from the back of the pack as well as the 25 of Michael Self. And remember now, Michael Self is the only car on the racetrack without fresh tires.
Michael Self looking for his first win ever. Didn't say much about him tonight, but this is a very steady competitor. He's done that all season long, but he's got himself positioned nicely.
Looks like they were blowing something in the car, maybe Christian Eckes, when he got into the outside wall, he may have done some damage to the crush panels. He may be getting some fumes in that 15 car. Did not see them put tires on that car that time.
Moments away from going green to see if Self can hold on in that green car. But a quick reminder that the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup kicks off June 7th with all eyes on Alex Morgan, Carly Lloyd, and Megan Rapinoe. The U.S. women's national team. They are the defending champions heading to France, looking to win a historic 4th World Cup. All the matches will be live right here on Fox and FS1. So the Women's World Cup kicks off. From back to front, let's take a look at our onboard cameras, beginning with Joe Graff in the Fast Kids Club machine. Graff right now being scored in the number 13 spot.
We had some trouble early on. Got penalized for changing lanes on a restart. How about Harrison Burton? Been solid all night long, been up and around the top 5. Right now running in the 6th spot. This is the General Tire on board for Harrison Burton.
Right in front of him is the 18 machine, the Toyota of Riley Herbst, Joe Gibbs Racing. Right now, Riley being scored in third spot. He is in position to perhaps overtake Michael Self, that carries our Sinclair onboard camera. He started from the pole. He's been in #1 position all night long. But what kind, if any, damage did he do to his car avoiding the lap machine?
I think right now the damage is the fact that he has 4 old tires on right now as his crew chief Shannon Rush looks on. He has a 23 of Brett Holmes beside him. Brett put 2 tires on during that pit stop. I think everybody else behind them has 4 tires, so it's really going to be interesting. We have no tires, 2 tires, and 4 tires in the front 3 positions.
Sinclair team electing to take the outside line. That'll put Holmes on the inside. Riley Herbst behind the race leader. As the pace car moves to the inside. We are 10 laps to go. The General Tire 150. The race that for the first 90 laps has been dominated by the 25.
Really spun the tires. You saw Riley Herbst, the 18, getting to the back of him.
On board with Riley, giving the old 25 a shove, saying get it moving or get out of my way. Herbst looking to the middle of the racetrack.
There's not a lot of room there.
He's the meat in the sandwich right now. And Brett Holmes takes over the lead. Herbst right behind him.
Nice job by Brett Holmes. So let's see if he can hold off these cars with 4 tires.
Majeski with a look on the inside, and the 22 car gets past the 25.
How about that 3-wide racing going in turn 1?
It is go time in Charlotte. What a way to start your Memorial Day weekend.
Look at Sheldon Creed come on the outside. Gets into the back of Tanner Gray. No, I believe that's Gustine, the 32 car.
Haven't said much about him right now. He's being scored at the #6 spot. Gustine coming to the front.
Well, Sheldon Creed is on a mission. He's trying to overcome that speeding penalty. Look at him go through the middle.
Suddenly he's past the 25. Oh, heartbreak though for Michael Self. Such a dominant performance, but going the wrong way, back to 7. Now the race for the lead, the 23, Brett Holmes. The 18, Riley Herbst.
Remember, 2 tires on that pit stop for Brett Holmes, 4 for Riley Herbst.
Riley has one. Brett Holmes has not in his ARCA career. The 48 start. The best he's ever finished in the top 5. 4th a couple of times, had a 2nd in his NASCAR or his ARCA debut in Nashville.
We talked about Brandon Jones, who joined us in the booth winning that race last year. You know who his crew chief was? Shane Huffman.
There you go.
Brett Holmes, crew chief right now. How about Cody Robaugh? We haven't talked a whole lot about Cody Robaugh. Been solid all race long, racing up in the top 10. Trying to grab that 9th spot from Michael Self, and he's going to get it.
The steam just out of that 25 car. Michael Self is fighting it. You saw the obvious damage to the rear end. People trying to push and shove to get around him.
How about Ty Majeski? Jumps to the outside in the 22 car, getting by Riley Herbst.
And he's got a huge run down the backstretch. What will he do now with Holmes in the 23? He'll look to the inside now. Ooh. Holmes blocks him.
And got loose, too. Holmes got really loose on the bottom. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum.
Majeski to the lead. Does he have it coming through the tri-oval? Yes, he does. 4 laps to go now.
Got a lap car right in front of him. He's going to get by him.
And waiting patiently, Riley Herbst to see if anybody makes a mistake. Right now, he'll settle into the 3 spot.
How about Ty Majeski? 2nd start of the year here in the ARCA Menards series. And here comes Sheldon Creed.
Creed to the inside. He served a penalty, and he's got himself back in the race. And this time by the start-finish line as he gives it back to Riley Herbst.
How about
we
Tanner
have
Gray?
4.5 miles. Tanner Gray throwing his head into the ring.
Great run off for turn number 4. Gets to the bottom of the 20 of Harrison Burton. Now he's underneath the 32 of Gustine as well.
Not bad for a kid making his 1.5-mile racetrack debut. Oh! Creed into the back of Herbst. He's in the wall. Caution will come out.
A lot of damage to that Monster Energy Toyota.
So just when you think you have it all figured out, think again.
Looked like maybe Riley thought he was clear of Sheldon Creed and was trying to move up the racetrack. Let's see if we can take another look. You see Sheldon trying to go by on the outside. I'm not sure there was a lane there. He just ran in the back of Riley getting in turn number 3. I thought originally that he went to the outside. Riley didn't realize he was there, but I think Riley had that spot. There wasn't a lane up there.
On board, he's running that top lane, and yeah, he was just holding his own right there. The man so focused, we thought it was his race to lose in practice today. But from qualifying since then, been a struggle to climb back to the front. He was positioned nicely, but now he's in no position.
Yeah, pretty significant contact with the outside wall for Riley Herbst. What a tough way to end it for him.
Dropping his head in obvious disappointment.
Yeah, trying to catch his breath, too.
So as it is, Ty Majeski has suddenly raced his way into the lead. Is Riley able to climb out? You watch on board.
Boy, anything can happen on this next restart here. Sheldon Crean will line up third. Gus Dean in fourth. Second row could be the key on this restart.
Is there kismet at play here? There's a red, white, and blue flag. It's Memorial Day weekend. Is Ty Majeski going to kick it off in style and win the ARCA Menards Series General Tire 150? We'll find out. Riley Herbst, tough break. Sheldon Crean gets into the back of him. Stage is set for the finish.
We are under caution at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where Riley Herbst has now climbed out of the number 18 Toyota. Day done early. I know you're disappointed, but what happened?
Yeah, just totally a racing deal there, but I was late on my block, and I would have done the same thing Sheldon did, and we were going for the win there. I had a killer restart. I'm just gutted, man. These guys at Joe Gibbs Racing gave me a really fast Monster Energy Toyota Camry, and I didn't perform. I didn't do my job today, so I got to get back and do some homework and get better for these guys.
What's your thoughts from a young man?
He's got to get ready quick. Series up next out in Pocono.
Yeah, what a tough break. It's just solid all day, all night long for Riley Herbst. And I love the fact that he took the blame. He said, hey, I was late on my block. He had a run going. I tried to stall that run out, and unfortunately Sheldon got into the back of it.
Great story developing at the front of the racetrack, though. As your race leader's Ty Majeski. He will take the outside lane. To his inside will be the number 2 runner, 23 car.
Sheldon,
that is Brett Holmes. Neither one of these racers have won an ARCA event.
Keep an eye on that second row, though. Sheldon Creed, the 21 on the inside. You see Gus Dean, a 2-time winner in the ARCA Series, now running full-time in the trucks on the outside.
Tanner Gray behind him. Wouldn't it be a hoot to see him win in his hometown in his first start at Charlotte?
Remember, Michael Self came to pit road and got 4 fresh tires. Not going to have a lot of time, but he does have fresh tires on that 25 car.
This is a racetrack that has produced 14 different winners in the 21 previous stops here. 6 of those being first-time ARCA winners. Will we have a 7th? The front row has control. As Ty Majeski moves first with the race now on the line.
A great restart by Ty Majeski. Did not spin the tires. He's able to go wherever he wants when he gets down to turn 1 here. 3 wide for second.
Creed right in the middle does have the momentum. A little wiggle by the 23. Brett Holmes falls back.
Oh,
car to the wall.
Cody Robaugh hard in the outside wall.
Still racing, though, at this point. Back to the starting line we go. Ty Majeski. Caution, though. Gus Dean has come from nowhere to position himself nicely. He is in the 32 car, and he will line up second. All this action stopped for the 7 machine.
Yeah, Cody was having a solid night. Ran in the top 10 just about the entire evening. Not sure exactly what happened over there in turn 1 and 2. There was some really hard racing going on. Let's see if we can take a look, Dave, and what happened to Cody Robaugh. You see him on the outside. Oh, he ran into the back of the 27.
Travis Braden.
You see the damage on the left front, and that just sent him into the outside wall. Looks like Travis got a little bit loose, needed a little bit more room, chased it up the racetrack just a little bit, and Cody had a head of steam coming.
Braden in that 27, another one of the guys we haven't talked much about. A team that's in the points race, a team that usually puts together a good finish. They're doing so again tonight, but they have never gotten that car right. But he'll at least have an opportunity to finish this race. Cody will not.
No, that's for sure. You can see him moving around. That's a good sign, getting out of the car now. We took the white flag before the caution flag came out, so that means we will have a restart of 1 lap. They will display the green and white flags at the same time, and we'll race for 1 lap. But again, we'll do it till we get to the checker and finish this race under green.
Last race for the foreseeable future for the Petersburg, West Virginia racer Cody Rohrbaugh, who says, hey, thanks for your help. Motioning over to Travis Braden's going to focus on the NASCAR Ganders Outdoor Truck Series.
Yeah, but that wasn't anything that Travis Braden did on purpose. He just got a little bit loose and needed a little bit more room to catch his car. I know Cody's upset, and I don't blame him, but it certainly wasn't anything intentional on Travis's part.
So that win so tantalizingly close. And remember who Ty Majeski has on the box for him. It's one of the legends in NASCAR. We're standing by with Jamie.
And that's Paul Andrews. Dave, I've been listening in on the radio, coaching him through the restarts. It's maybe a weakness for you guys. What information are you giving him?
It has been a weakness here. We've struggled on the restarts, every one of them, you know, so we're doing all we can just to get it all he can on the restart and try to keep him behind him and not let him. If he gets out in clear traffic, we can really go, we can go, you know, so just got to keep it, make that happen again.
Over the course of the race, you guys have found some speed. What were the biggest adjustments you made?
We've made small adjustments. I think the track's come to us. We've only made small adjustments. Actually, we freed it up, and we actually made it tight. Had to tighten it back up for the last pit stop. So far everything's good. Just need to finish this 1 green lap first.
Almost there.
And if Ty Majeski can do that, he will become the 7th driver to earn his or her first ARCA Menards Series win here at Charlotte.
Yeah, he was spot on that last restart. If he can do that 1 more time, I think it's in the bag.
Here are those racers that have done that, from Mark Thompson back in 1997 when they raced here a couple of times, on down to Jeff Fultz in 2002. How about the name Adam Petty, though, sticking out?
Yeah, what a big moment that was. I'll never forget the picture of Adam and Kyle and Richard all in victory lane here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
So that is what is at stake for Ty Majeski, trying to get that Ford into victory lane.
Good way to welcome that new sponsor, Crestliner Boats.
Absolutely.
To the ARCA Menards Series.
So we're going to step away for just a moment, though, but I promise you we will be back, and when we do, it will be overtime in the ARCA Menards Series. Chance to see if Ty Majeski can hold on, or Gus Dean, or perhaps Sheldon Creed can get the checkers here at Charlotte. How are you enjoying your Thursday night heading into Memorial Day weekend? We hope you're watching us right here on FS1. We've got overtime here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the General Tire 150. Majeski, the race leader, looking for his first ARCA win. Gus Dean already has a couple of those, but not since 2018. And the champ is back. Sheldon Creed lining up 3rd. And then Harrison Burton. What a way to come back from your Daytona win by winning at Charlotte, graduating the next day.
How about Christian Eckes has been fighting his way back from 2 laps down due to a cut tire,
5th.
up in here in 5th.
And then there's the young NHRA Pro Stock champion Tanner Gray. He doesn't know any better. He says, I'm going to go for it. Why not?
1 lap. Remember, just a green and white displayed at the same time. We will race for 1 lap if the caution doesn't come out again.
Got to get that race leader to the checker flag. We're 1.5 miles away, perhaps, from figuring out who wins tonight's General Tire 150. It's grown to a little bit longer than that.
Boy, Gus Dean is right there.
Majeski not with a bad start as well. Dean to the inside, though. Cars side by side. Creed looking to the high side.
Is there going to be room for Creed up there? I don't think so.
Down the backstretch for the final time. Majeski now in command. Can he hold off Sheldon Creed, last year's champion? Off turn 4 into the tri-oval, and for the 7th time, Charlotte has produced a first-time ARCA winner. And that is the man, the legend, that got him into victory lane, Paul Andrews.
That's one happy Chad Bryant crew down there.
Of course, I met Paul Andrews, Ty Majeski. What a courageous race. When it's all said and done, Michael Self comes home 5th. He dominated the first 90 laps. Tanner Gray unofficially with a 6th place finish. Creed, after serving a penalty, races his way back to finish 2nd. Whew, now you can exhale.
And the good news for Ty Majeski, he'll be back in that car next week at Pocono.
Found his way to Paul Andrews as part of the 2015 Alan Kulwicki Driver Development Program. Of course, Paul racing a long time with Alan, as well as everybody else out here. He found himself a good one in this young man. Guy that finishes virtually on the lead lap of every race now will climb out to the Adoration. Racing in Charlotte. Finding victory lane.
He's won a whole bunch of races on short tracks. Really a great super late model racer. The first Speedway win here for Ty Majeski. First win in ARCA.
Car that he shares with Corey Heim, but tonight he takes it to victory lane. We'll get him there, trust me. But he's in no hurry. He didn't care, he just won. So as he fires that 22 back up, no doubt to maybe do a long burnout. Majeski has the checkered flag in hand, and he will take it to victory lane, joining these racers as first-time winners in ARCA at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, thanks, Amber. For the longest time tonight, it looked like Michael Self had hit a home run, but he tripped up rounding 3rd, heading for home after 90 laps, and that opened the door for a 24-year-old Wisconsin native to take his first ARCA Menards Series win tonight at the General Tire 150. His name, Ty Majeski, and he is in victory lane.
23, Alabama, the 15 car.
As Ty Majeski climbs out of the car, the smile on his face. I was watching you sit here, Ty. You could not quit smiling. What was the biggest lesson you learned in your first super speedway?
Oh man, this is unbelievable. I can't even believe this. From losing my ride to this year, man, it was like January, February before we finally put this deal together. Chad took a chance on me. We both have a lot to prove. Man, this is a great win for everybody. We have a brand new sponsor on board, Crestliner. Brittany, I know you're watching. This is freaking awesome. We have the Quickie colors on. That's where I kind of cut my teeth into late model racing and really jump-started my career. And for it to come full circle and ended up in victory lane and do a Polish victory lap, it doesn't get any better.
Talked to Paul Andrews at the end of the race. He said it really came to you today. How much more comfortable was the car at the end of the race?
Yeah, we actually made a bad adjustment there. I don't know if it was the scuff tires that we qualified on, and then going to stickers that freed the car up, but we were way too free. We got a caution there at the end. Paul made a great adjustment. Man, this is so cool.
You got the win. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And a great moment to do it here in Charlotte, North Carolina, the now celestial home of all things NASCAR.
Yeah, everybody's watching for sure, Dave.
Absolutely. Very appreciative crew. And a big night to be had tonight as Michael Self is able to hold on to the points lead, but he gave back some points tonight. Brett Holmes comes home in the 8th position. Travis Braden is tied for that position as well.
Yeah, both those guys finishing up in the top 10 as well as Christian Eckes there.
What a war for him tonight, battling back from a couple laps down. Finish on that lead lap as well.
Joe Graff Jr. had some issues, finished outside of the top 10, but still remains 5th in points.
But it is still anybody's race in the championship for sure. Ty Majeski, boy, what a cool moment watching somebody get that first win.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Just pure emotion.
Yeah, can't wait to see what he can do in this car again when he goes next week to Pocono. He's also going to be in the car at Michigan 2 weeks from now, too. So, and that continuity, I think, is just going to help him. He was in that car at Talladega. That's totally different than this mile and a half. When you go to Pocono, similar type things that you work on in the race. Same thing with Michigan.
You know, we need to work on a long list of how many people Paul Andrews has taken to victory lane. Just another one scribbled on the bottom of that list.
We're out of room.
It's probably longer than that list you make for Santa every year. You got to bring me all this stuff.
Yeah, we're out of room already.
Hey, the next broadcast for the ARCA Menards Series, it's coming up just a week away. Be sure to catch all the action at Pocono right here on FS1. While the celebration continues in victory lane, Michael Self able to come home 5th and hold on to that points lead. He's standing by with Jamie.
It is a valuable day for points, but it looked like you had that win locked up. What was it that happened that made it start to unravel?
I just made a mistake. I mean, I just got greedy, I guess. I mean, I was just dumb on my part. Just idiotic move. It was, this Sinclair Oil number 25 was such an incredible car today. I mean, that thing was so fast, and I just got in and got a little bit free, and, you know, being right there borderline free all night in that run, and it was just right on the edge, and I totally blew it. But you know what? We came out with an okay points day. Thanks to everyone here. Thanks to General Tire for putting this race on. This was a blast. I mean, compared to last year, I'll take it. We're going to Pocono, and I just have to learn.
And you still have the points lead.
Crashed a car in qualifying last year. Disaster avoided, though. That could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, without a doubt. Any rebounds to a top 5 finish. He just found so much speed when he moved up the racetrack. Sheldon Creed had caught him, and he just drove away from him once he moved up the racetrack, but got just a little bit loose getting in that corner. There was a lap car there. The air might have been disturbed a little bit and just lightly got into the outside wall. But then ultimately, when the caution came out, he stayed on the racetrack. Everybody else came down pit road. Then he was sitting duck.
How about Ty Majeski, though, holding off last year's series champ, Sheldon Creed. Gus Dean has been doing it a long, long time. Harrison Burton was back there as well. Great job by the youngster, though.
Yeah, when we talk about the young guys at the top of the show, they didn't disappoint. The young guys were all up there, jammed up in the top 5.
Harrison Burton won Daytona. He graduates tomorrow. Congratulations to him. But the overall big winner of the night, Ty Majeski. He wins the General Tire 150. We'll see you next Friday at 5:30 from Pocono. But up next, it is MLB Whip Around as we say so long and good night from Charlotte.